Target neutralized.
In this video, I'm going to be talking about two specific nuts, and that is pistachios and also macadamia nuts. Okay, so the first one, pistachios, reduced lipid raft stability, therefore upregulating clathrin-mediated endocytosis. Endocytosis is basically takes place at the toll-like receptor 4 if the CD14 is attached to the TLR4, interacting with TRIF, therefore allowing endocytosis for immune function. So pistachios support the immune system. Another really important thing about pistachios is that it reduces NFKB suppression on the immune system. Macadamia nuts do that too. They also suppress NFKB, so that NFKB cannot suppress the immune system. Because if NFKB goes on for too long, let's say CD27, CD70 axis, that will eventually lead to exhausted T cells, which is a very difficult situation to reverse. A critical part where macadamia nuts really helps is that it reduces chronic toll-like receptor 4 activation. Possibly from a gluten ingestion, many foods have gluten. If the toll-like receptor 4 is chronically activated, that ends up silencing phagocytosis by macrophages, therefore allowing immune evasion. Because a phagocytosis is basically the attack, or it's like an engulfing mechanism, where the macrophage swallows up the pathogen or the cancer cell. So the cancer cell or pathogen evades or escapes the phagocytosis engulfing attack. So another effect that macadamia nuts has on reducing toll-like receptor 4 overactivation is that this allows calreticulin or CRT to expose at the surface of the cancer cell, allowing phagocytosis from the macrophage to engulf the cancer cell, because the cancer cell hides the CRT as a way of avoiding sending the eat me signal to the macrophage, because the macrophage has to see the eat me signal from the calreticulin in order to engulf the cancer cell. But toll-like receptor 4 chronic stimulation by gluten or lipopolysaccharides will hide the CRT. So another critical benefit of pistachios is that it stabilizes the ECM or the extracellular matrix so that it can be remodeled instead of being stiff and rigid. This is critical because if the ECM is stiff and rigid, that could eventually end up overactivating the M1 phenotype. If that M1 phenotype is overactivated, that's going to lead to overactive T cells, and the T cells will eventually start attacking the healthy bodily tissues, or in other words, an autoimmune attack. Okay, this next one by pistachios could help, or at least one part, in bringing back exhausted T cells. So that the exhausted T cells, because of a NFKB, let's say from CD27, CD70 on the tumor, the exhausted T cells are caused by NFKB, and then they are hard. The T cells are hard to bring back or revive if the chromatin is closed. But pistachios, they help open up chromatin with copper. So copper and pistachios, they actually help drive the process of opening chromatin back up, possibly bringing back exhausted T cells. Opening the chromatin also brings back IL-2 as well, because the T cells are exhausted because of the lack of IL-2. Another benefit of copper, thanks to pistachios, is that it helps the magnesium transporters so that the lysosomal membrane is repaired if it's peroxidized, so that the cathepsins do not leak out to degrade the exosomes. That way the tumors do not receive the exosomes, because if they do, the exosomes can wreak a lot of havoc and destabilizing the immune system. Now, the way the copper helps prevent this is that it supports estrogen levels by because of the copper zinc ratio. So with enough copper, that lowers zinc, so that zinc is not excessive. Because if zinc is excessive, that's going to lead to testosterone that is way too high. If T levels are too high, that suppresses estrogen, therefore also reducing the magnesium transporter that is important for the lysosome. Okay, so back to macadamia nuts. They help induce brown adipose tissue, or in other words, brown fat. This is really good for the immune system because brown fat is rich in mitochondria, and the immune system is a very high energy demanding system, or the immune cells. So with mitochondria, that gives the immune system the energy that they really need. Okay, so macadamia nuts, they also help with the chylomicron transport. Now, the chylomicrons are responsible for fat-soluble vitamins to be able to be delivered, to avoid and prevent a fat-soluble vitamin deficiency. So with macadamia nuts supporting the chylomicrons, that should help prevent a fat-soluble vitamin deficiency, such as A, D, E, and K, especially vitamin D, for the vitamin D receptor to be able to interact at the chromatin level to help bring back IL-2. Once the copper from pistachios opens up the chromatin, because copper helps open up chromatin. If the exhausted T cells end up losing IL-2, or the exhausted T cells don't have IL-2 because the chromatin is closed. So both macadamia nuts and pistachios, they both play a team, or they work as a duo, or in tandem, because the pistachios offers the copper to open up the chromatin, and then the macadamia nuts helps absorption of vitamin D, so that vitamin D can work at the DNA level to enable immune functions that were lost because of ongoing NFKB. Of course, those vitamin D can only work at the DNA level if chromatin is opened, which is what copper does, because the DNA is inside, or is located inside the chromatin. If the chromatin is closed because of low copper, then the vitamin D receptors cannot interact with the DNA to bring back immune functions. Another critical thing that pistachios do is that they also reduce STAT3. STAT3 actually supports and enhances cancer growth and metastasis. There is a pathway that is called HSP70 that actually promotes tumor and cancer survival. Now, that's a whole nother rabbit hole for a different video, but pistachios, they can help modulate and lower HSP70 expression in tumor cells. Therefore, modulating and sensitizing tumor cells to chemotherapeutic stress. Okay, so quick recap. Pistachios and macadamia nuts, they actually both work together as a combo, or in tandem at the DNA level, because pistachios offers the copper to open up the chromatin because the DNA is inside the chromatin. And macadamia nuts provides the chylomicron support so that the chylomicrons can deliver fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K, but especially D, so that the vitamin D activates the vitamin D receptor, and then with chromatin opened because of copper, vitamin D receptor goes in to interact with the DNA to boost immune system functions. So that's it for the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep it locked in here on this channel for future videos, and I'll see you in the next video.